principal.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the job posting. So Dad's, I was like, well, I know who it's got to be. You know, he's the suit obviously.
Yeah,
He has his name. So,
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna make my way to the back.
Welcome, students and guests, for the celebration of the class of 2026. My name's Daniel Yoon, and I'm the four-year student government president for our class. At this time, you may all rise and direct your attention to the flag, for the national anthem. You may all be seated.
Hello, Southview graduates, family, and friends. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you for all the 4 years of high school that we've gotten through. My name is Colin Cromley, and standing here today feels a little surreal. For a long time, graduation felt like some distant moment that we'd never actually reach, but somehow we're here. Days like today often make us stop to think about where we've been, where we're going, and what really matters when we put things into perspective. And sometimes it takes just a single moment for that perspective to change completely. And with that, I'd like to begin with a story. A man and a woman were arguing on a plane. In the moment, their anger felt important. Then the pilot came on and said the plane was going down, and suddenly the two had forgotten what they were arguing about and embraced each other even more authentically than on their wedding day. What's the point of this story? Well, moments of extreme importance have a way of weeding out the insignificance that we give too much attention to. Sorry, one second. They force us to see clearly. And similar to the lovers on the plane, whether we like it or not, we all face the same moment or the same reality today. For years, what felt important was fitting in, getting the most likes, wearing the right thing, and what everyone else thought of us. But standing with all of you here today, preparing to step into the unknown, none of that really seems to matter. In the end, it's insignificant. And we're left asking, what now? There isn't really a script anymore. I mean, sure, there's the traditional path, college, career, stability, but what if that isn't what you want? For the first time, what happens next is completely up to you. Some of you already have a plan. College, the military, the trades. Others are still figuring it out. But regardless, the real question isn't what's next, it's why. The real question is it truly what you want, or is it just what feels safe? Because the real risk may not be failing at your dreams. The real risk is never trying long enough, or at all, to find out what you could have been capable of. And very often this happens because sometimes we're so scared of the possibility of failure that we guarantee it by not trying. Not to mention, failure isn't the end, it's feedback. But to perceive failure as such requires that we get back up. But we don't want to. So instead, sometimes we'd rather bury our dreams so deep that hopefully we forget that we ever even cared about them. And then we start arguing on a crashing plane. That is failure. 14 years ago, my family and I watched the movie Annie. Afterwards, when we all went up to bed, my sister Cecilia went in her room to sit on her windowsill just like Annie. And monkey see, monkey do, so there I was, sat on my windowsill, leaning against the screen of my open window. And there, I began to sing. Now, keep in mind, at this time, I lived in a pretty large country home, so my window was over 2 stories from the ground, so I was pretty high up. Then, at the ripe age of just 4 years old, I ripped through the screen and plummeted roughly 25 feet to the bottom. Long story short, I was actually perfectly fine. Not a bruise, not a broken bone, nothing. Against every odd the doctors gave me, saying that I shouldn't have survived long enough to get up, let alone make it to the hospital, I'm here today. My point with this story isn't to say how great I am, though I could see how you got that. It's about the human spirit. When I wanted something, I didn't let fear stop me. Reckless? Absolutely. Recommended? Definitely not. But in a way, it's inspiring that there's a part of me, however naive and reckless, and most importantly, a part of all of you, that focuses not on what could go wrong, but on what could go right. That fear affects all of us. It's designed to keep us safe, but when we let it do all the talking, it only keeps us unfulfilled. Maybe fear has kept you from raising your hand in class, or from fully expressing yourself for fear of what others might think. Many of us today are scared of what's next. And who wouldn't be? I'm terrified of what happens next. If you're not at least a little scared, you might not be aiming high enough. It's okay to be scared of your ambitious dreams. It is not okay to let that fear cripple you from trying. Or worse, you let the opinions of others dictate the entirety of your life until one day you wake up and realize that years have gone by and you never really chose any of it. Ouch. Let's not go down that road. We have one life. Why waste it on what ifs? What if? What if you succeed? What if it does, in fact, all work out? That is the what if we need to be thinking about. With the one life we have, please, please, please don't default to being realistic. Every dream starts off seemingly impossible, but the realization of it always begins with belief. And that is why I ask you today to be a little delusional about what you want for your life. Not recklessly, but authentically, and without concern of what others may think. Now, at some point, before you leave this building to celebrate with family and friends, ask yourself seriously if the path laid out for you is truly what you want, or it is just what you've told yourself that you want. Because one day, whether we like it or not, we are all faced with a moment of clarity, where the small things fade and that which matters most comes into focus. And when that moment comes, all that will matter will be the dreams you chased, the love you shared, and the life you chose for yourself. Do not wait until you're on a crashing plane to wake up to that reality. Do not settle. Bet on yourself. Chase your wildest dreams. Do what you want, and be a little delusional. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guests, parents, staff, and most importantly, the graduating class of Sylvania Southview 2026. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Yara Smail, and I'm honored to be a part of this year's graduating class. You see, this year is special. In case you hadn't heard it from Dr. Venz 1,000 times already, we're the 50th class of Southview. Half a century of Cougars walking across this stage. But that's not just a number. It's 50 years of dreams, 50 years of challenges, and 50 years of change. But what makes us special is that we're graduating during Southview's golden anniversary. And honestly, looking back at my time at Southview, it feels fitting, because our time here has truly been golden. Not perfect, definitely not easy, but valuable. If you think about it, we actually are a lot like gold. Gold takes millions of years to form. In fact, it takes the collision of two stars to even exist, something incredibly rare. The journey isn't short. And saying that, I'm not talking about us physically growing older. I'm talking about our futures, passions, and truly finding ourselves for the value we hold and the value we later discover. We discover our value by living and experiencing, by mending and stretching ourselves, just like gold. Gold may start off rare, but it builds its value with time. And I think that says something about our experience too. We have done so much growing and building at Southview. Whether it's losing mock trial at regionals, nearly falling asleep during the ACT, or hearing Dr. Venz screaming, "Go Cougars" at 9 a.m. in the morning. Regardless what they are, those moments are what added to our value. And it's because of them that we're reminded of the resilience, responsibility, and respect we put into these past few years. The 3 R's of Southview, even though we groaned about them at the time. There's still so much growing left for us to do, regardless of where we want to go. And trust me, I'm not trying to sound like Mr. Trost during one of his life talks, but remember, gold really does take millions of years to form. So even if you're still not sure where you're going and why, that's okay. Just don't take more than a million years. Gold isn't perfect. Even after its long process of formation, it still has a long way to go. In fact, gold in its purest form isn't the polished, shiny version we typically picture. It's buried beneath so many layers of hardship. And although it may already be valuable, it's that refining process that really shapes it into something beautiful. In these past 4 years, each one of us has come across some sort of hardship. If I'm being honest, I was never the top of my class. I never carried any leadership positions, and I didn't even attend Southview for 4 full years. After leaving America at a very young age, I was coming back my sophomore year with the expectation of being familiar. Instead, I came back unfamiliar with no idea how to make new friends, how to pick my classes, or what an honors class even was. I had to readjust both academically and socially. To be completely honest, even as a graduating senior, I'm still a little unfamiliar. And I think everyone in this room has had their own version of unfamiliar at some point in these past 4 years. After all, this is also 50 years of students with different stories. But regardless how different those stories may be, Southview was a part of our refining process. Through social pressure, academic pressure, and the pressure to create the path for the rest of our lives, we were shaped into something truly beautiful and golden. Cougars. Gold is valuable. It's because of the time that it's valuable. It's because of the process that it's valuable, and it is because of our Southview High School experience that we are valuable. We weren't broken by the process. We were simply shaped by it. We made Southview's 50th birthday truly golden. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2026.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to recognize some of the exceptional students in this year's graduating class. Students, please rise when I say your group affiliation or your specific achievement for recognition. Students' names are listed in the program. We're going to begin by recognizing some leadership positions. Will the senior class officers please rise? And stay up for the senior class representatives. Will they all rise as well? And we'll give them a round of applause. Can I get the senior Senate officers to rise? And stay up so we can get all the senior senators. Will everybody who served as a senator please rise? Now the NHS officers. Can I get the NHS officers to stand? And stay up. Let's see all of NHS, please. Where are the NHS members? Like Mr. Joplin says, the best of the best. All right, let's have a seat. Okay, now we'll do the Latin honors. If you are graduating cum laude, will you please stand up? Where are the cum laude graduates? Now, if you're graduating magna cum laude, will you please rise? And let's see the 4.0s and higher. Where are the summa cum laude graduates? We have 6 students who earned National Merit Recognition. This puts you in about the top 1% nationally. Think about that for a second. National Merit Commended Scholars. I'm going to have you stand up, but I'm going to say your names. They're in the program. Ash Molitor, Theo Radkoff, Maida Ramaswamy, and Dylan Walerius. Have a seat. We have 1 National Merit Scholarship finalist, and that's Catherine Zhang, way in the back. And for the class of 2026, we also have 1 National Merit Scholarship recipient. Where's Henry Shao? Can you stand and be recognized? We don't get one of those every year, so congratulations, Henry. And we're going to finish with 3 other outstanding achievements. Will the students who are receiving an honors diploma please rise? Wow. That's a good chunk. Have a seat. The President's Award for Academic Excellence, which is also explained in your program. If you got the President's Award for Academic Excellence, will you stand up? And I'm finishing with my personal favorite. If you have dedicated more than 200 hours of volunteer service to your school and community, will you stand and be recognized? Where are my 200-hour volunteers? It's about an hour a week while you're in high school. Give them a round of applause. Seniors, thanks for contributing your talents to Southview. Can we get one more round of applause for all of those outstanding students?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. To our cherished families, distinguished guests, dedicated faculty and staff, and dear friends, it is with immense pride and heartfelt joy that I welcome you to today's celebration. As superintendent of our Sylvania schools, I proudly accept the extraordinary Southview High School class of 2026. Today is more than a ceremony. It is a milestone, a moment where years of effort, resilience, growth, and determination come together in a huge celebration. Today, we honor not only our graduates and what they've accomplished, but also who they have become. As I look across this class of Krugers, I see innovators, artists, leaders, athletes, musicians, problem solvers, change makers. I see a future filled with promise, powered by your courage, your dreams, and your potential. To our families, thank you. You have been the steady hand through every storm, the encourager through every challenge, and the heart behind every success. Your love and support help make this moment possible. Please take a moment to give yourselves a well-deserved round of applause. Again, to our Cougars, graduation is a unique moment in life. It's a blend of reflection and anticipation. It marks both the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. Southview High School will forever be a part of your story, forever be a part of your fabric. It is where many of you built lifelong friendships, discovered your passions, overcame obstacles, and found your voice. Over the past 4 years, you've adapted to change with resilience and supported one another with compassion and determination. You have shown us what it means to persevere with grace. Today is also a reminder that life is filled with both last and first. For many of you, this year included your last first day of high school, your last Spirit Week, your last performance, game, or final exam, your last walk through the hallways as students of our Sylvania schools. But with those last are now creating space for new beginnings. Your first college class or living away from home for an extended period of time, your first full-time job, your first apartment, your first opportunity to define the impact you want to make on this world. Remember this, every ending creates room for a new beginning. The close of one chapter is proof that you have grown and you are ready for what comes next. As you move forward, know that you are the authors of your future. The world is shaped by your choices that you make and the courage you show and the kindness that you extend to others. Yes, you will face challenges along the way, and at times you may fail, but failure is not the end. It is often the greatest teacher. As F. Scott Fitzgerald once wrote, never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Success is rarely a straight line. It is built through growth and perseverance. So embrace who you are authentically and boldly. The world needs your unique gifts and your perspective. Be kind, be curious, be courageous, lift others up, lead with empathy, and live with purpose. As Maya Angelou once said, my mission in life is not to merely survive, but to thrive. With some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Class of 2026, you are entering a world that needs compassionate leaders, courageous thinkers, and people willing to make a difference. The good news is we have already seen all of these qualities in each and every one of you. As you move forward, remember the people who supported you along the way, your families, teachers, staff members, and friends, and remember that true success is not measured only by accomplishments, but how you treat others and the difference you make in the lives around you. Before I close, I would be remiss if I did acknowledge that this is one of my final 2 graduation speeches as superintendent of our Sylvania schools. Serving this district has been one of the greatest honors of my professional life. It has truly been a privilege to lead and serve our students, families, staff, and the greater Sylvania community. I will forever be grateful for the relationships, memories, and experiences we have had together. To the class of 2026, continue the Cougar tradition of excellence. Continue to make your families proud. Continue to make our community proud. And most importantly, continue to make yourself proud. Thank you for your spirit, your pride, and hope you've brought to the Southview High School and to our Sylvania schools. Although this may be one of my final moments standing before you as superintendent, I leave with tremendous pride and confidence in our Cougars because you are a special group. Congratulations, Cougar graduates of 2026. The future is yours. Go make it extraordinary. And as always, go Cougars.
Congratulations, class of 2026. That sounds great. We gathered here today to celebrate your achievement, the perseverance, hard work, and dedication that have brought each of you to this moment. Today marks the end of one chapter in your story and the beginning of another. In his famous speech, Citizenship in the Republic, President Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who at the best, in the end, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly." Graduates, today I'd like to offer you 3 choices that can lead to a life in the arena, a life of daring greatly. The first, choose kindness over niceness. We often confuse nice with being kind. Niceness is about being polite and agreeable. It seeks to avoid conflict and is often more concerned with comfort than truth. Kindness, however, is rooted in a genuine desire to do what is right. It recognizes that conflict is a normal part of human interactions and seeks to use disagreement as an opportunity to build understanding. Kindness tells the truth, even when that truth may be difficult to hear. Being kind requires courage. It asks us to care enough about others to be honest, compassionate, and willing to engage rather than simply appease. The second, choose curiosity over certitude. Certitude is the belief that we already have all the answers. Once it decides what is true, the search for understanding ends. It rejects complexity, fears disagreeing viewpoints, and treats contradictions as problems to be eliminated rather than opportunities to learn. Curiosity takes a different path. It asks questions before passing judgment. It recognizes that cynicism often disguises itself as wisdom and that genuine understanding requires humility. Curiosity encourages critical thinking. It helps protect us from misinformation and disinformation. The curious person seeks multiple credible sources before accepting something as fact. The certain person dismisses every source as biased and concludes that the truth is unknowable. Curiosity understands that complicated problems rarely have simple solutions, but reminds us that growth begins not with certainty, but with a willingness to learn. Finally, choose participation over passivity. The technology we use shapes the way we interact with the world. Today's digital environment often encourages us to engage with life as spectators. Social media feeds and algorithms serve us information designed to capture our attention and keep us scrolling. Active participation requires intentional effort. It means seeking out perspectives that algorithms may never show us. It means engaging with people whose experiences differ from our own. It means moving beyond observation and into action. Abundance belongs to those who participate in life, not merely those who watch it. Graduates, you're entering a world that makes it all too easy to remain on the sidelines, to scroll, to comment, to criticize, to observe. It is far more difficult to step forward and contribute. It is harder to volunteer for a cause, run for office, start a business, create something new, stand up for what is right, or help solve problems in your community. Yet those are the actions that shape lives, strengthen communities, and move society forward. As you begin your next adventure, I encourage you to dare greatly by saying yes to the opportunities before you. Say yes to learning, whether through formal education, meaningful work, or everyday life lessons. Say yes to relationships that challenge you to become better versions of yourself. Say yes to new experiences, new ideas, and new perspectives. Say yes to leaving your community better than you found it. Pursue your dreams with passion, but also with kindness, curiosity, and a commitment to active participation. As you leave here today, I hope that you'll be among those who choose to enter the arena and dare greatly. And when your own story is written years from now, may it be said that you did not simply watch life unfold. You stepped forward, you contributed, you served, you dared greatly. Congratulations, graduates. The arena awaits.
That's board member Dan Bowden, by the way. Sorry for the error in the program. That's not Craig Feller. My name's Casey Venz, and it's my honor to serve as the principal at Southview. And before I start, I want to do some thank yous. Mrs. Fitzpatrick, I don't see Mrs. Ulrich off, but she's here somewhere. Thank you for all the beautiful music, as always. Second thank you goes out to the faculty and staff. I challenged you to celebrate Southview's golden anniversary by participating in its traditions and continuing its academic excellence we are known for. What's that mean at the classroom level? It means sparking curiosity, developing critical thinkers, and treating students respectfully because they are this community's and this democracy's future citizens, and you were excellent role models. In Sylvania, we believe our graduates will do one of the 3 E's. There's about 260 of them. 75% will enroll in colleges all over the United States. Roughly half will do so with credit in hand. Most of the remaining students will start their adult lives with employment, possibly capitalizing on a skilled trade they learned in one of our career tech programs. However, a few of them have chosen to make a sacrifice that will protect the freedoms the rest of us enjoy. The third and final E is enlistment. Will you stand and be recognized if you're wearing one of the distinguished red, white, and blue cords around your neck because you will be serving in one of the branches of the armed services after graduation? There you go, Cassie. Where's the rest of our graduates with the red, white, and blue? Can we give them a round of applause, everybody? All right, in case you haven't heard, this is the 50th graduating class of Southview High School. You're the Golden Cougars. You represent the progress we've made and the proud traditions we've helped carry forward. Thinking about Southview's 50-year run got me thinking what else was going on in 1976. There's the obvious one. The United States was turning 200 years young. Independence was July 4th, 1776. What else was going on? To celebrate the bicentennial, the U.S. Treasury introduced the $2 bill. Anyone remember that in the audience? It's far more rare nowadays. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded a little computer company in their garage called Apple. Insane. Owning a pet rock was a popular fad. Simpler times for sure. In the theaters, the breakout hit was a film about what has become the iconic underdog story. It's about a boxer who fought for more for self-respect than for glory. Yep, Rocky endeared itself to the populace, and especially to the slice of society that was all too familiar with fighting for dignity and pulling itself up by its bootstraps. By the way, do we know Stallone wrote that screenplay? Just checking. Fun fact, he wrote it in 3 days. Look it up. The mid-'70s was also an era of fondue and 59-cent gas. Doesn't that sound nice? Disco was booming, so consequently were halter dresses, polyester suits, and platform shoes. And somewhere in that milieu, a new high school was erected at 7225 Sylvania Avenue. Our beloved Cougars were born alongside the space shuttle, inkjet printers, rollerblades, and the big gulp. As you can see, this school year really got me thinking about 50 years, half a century, and then I realized that the class of 2026, 50 years sounds like a really, really long time. To a bunch of 18-year-olds, 50 is ancient. Am I right? But to some people in the stage or the members of the audience, 50 doesn't sound that old. In fact, 50 looks really good on you, Mr. Ziroff. You know who else 50 looks good on? Jeff Probst. Do we all know who that is? He's the host of a TV reality competition called Survivor. He's actually 64, by the way, but I'm bringing it up because the show just finished season 50. And I know not everyone's a fan, but I think it's ingrained enough in the cultural zeitgeist that I can use it as a reference for today's message. In case you haven't seen it, picture a contest on a remote island that tasks contestants with surviving on minimal supplies while competing in mental and physical challenges for immunity. And immunity is what they covet because the same contestants vote each other off the island at a tribal council until the sole survivor gets $1 million. So why am I bringing it up? Well, there are 3 noteworthy parallels between the game of Survivor and post-high school lives. First, the tagline is outwit, outplay, and outlast. It's a 3-word recipe for success. Outwit is the mental strategy of deception used to navigate the game and the votes. Outplay refers to performing well in challenges to secure safety. And outlast is, in a word, the name of the game, because it ultimately the contestants' endurance of harsh conditions and plot twist that leads to the grand prize. Okay, stick with me here. Southview, we also have a 3-word recipe for success in school and in life called the 3 R's. Our tagline is respectful, responsible, and resilient, and we think it will get you pretty far in life. We believe that being respectful means you're a compassionate person who values relationships and celebrates diversity. That sounds like an adult I'd like to be around. And I'm sure you have heard from your parents 1,000,000 times about how you're going to have to be more responsible when you're an adult. And guess what? You're here. Don't be scared. Southview Training Ground has hopefully taught you to be accountable, meet deadlines, and act with integrity. And finally, I think the word resilient is one that most people in this arena would agree is essential to success. It means to persevere, to find solutions, to be flexible, and to get back up when you get knocked down. A lot like Rocky Balboa, I guess. Life's second parallel to Survivor is something known as forming an alliance, and it is a key ingredient to success on the show and in life. An alliance can be thought of as a group of people who are working towards a common goal. In Survivor, the stakes are always high because of the kill or be killed nature of the game. Contestants constantly try to position themselves with the majority vote to ensure their own safety. But since you aren't playing a reality game for $1 million, what's an alliance to you, class of 2026? In a word, it's a friendship. It's a different word, but it serves the exact same purpose. Until now, you've probably had some friendships based on conveniences, like living on the same street, having the same schedule, or playing on the same team. And in many ways, those types of convenient opportunities for friendships will present themselves again. Things like living on the same floor of the dorm, having the same gym routine, or belonging to the same trade union all come to mind. The difference now, though, is the possibility for reinventing yourself. In your new circle, no one will know that embarrassing thing that happened in elementary school, what your grades were like, or who you used to date. Now's your chance to form a new alliance, one that is built on positive qualities like emotional support, a shared outlook on life, or common career goals. I'm not saying you have to abandon your fellow Cougars. I'm just saying that an opportunity exists to capitalize on the fresh start to form alliances based on mutual benefits that will help you achieve your dreams. Therefore, I challenge you to gravitate towards the people who push you to be a better version of yourself. I promise you will like the results. Finally, what intrigues me most about the show is not the silly competitions or the clandestine social networking. Nope. It's that the contestants always seem to learn more about themselves than they do about others. This is a really powerful concept. That is, it's often life's most difficult situations that teach us the most about ourselves and that we are capable of doing things beyond our wildest imagination. Sure, you're most likely not going to have to balance a ball on a wooden apparatus while your feet are perched on a 2-inch wide beam, but you know what I mean. There is a transformative process that occurs when adversity strips away superficiality. Life's challenging moments are catalysts for personal growth, discovering your authentic self, or for redefining your life's purpose. I'm certainly not wishing anything bad on any of you. I'm just stating that those moments are going to come. I guarantee they're unavoidable, and only then will you truly know what you're made of. So, if life is one big immunity challenge, then may you be the last one standing. I suspect your next adventure will probably teach you more about yourself in a few months than you have learned in these first 18 years. I think they call it adulting. While you are discovering yourself, I hope you also form a perfect alliance that will help you outwit, outplay, and outlast the competition. I want to end with a final thought from Survivor. On the next to last episode of the season, the host said, "The game is the lure, and the experience is the prize." It caught my attention because it captures the essence of both the game and life. Too many people believe that success in life can be measured by titles and bank account balances. But I think most adults in this arena would tell you that life's real prizes are its circumstances, encounters, and unexpected adventures. When you learn to appreciate who you are and life's simple pleasures, you have won. Happy golden anniversary to Southview High School. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Your tribe has spoken. Thank you. At this time, could we get the senior choir members on stage for the alma mater, please? And we are getting close to the reason everyone is here. We're going to start diplomas after this. As they're getting situated, it is tradition that we would stand for the alma mater, everyone. You can stand for Southview's alma mater.
Daniel Yoon.
Urvi Sai Viamajala.
Mitchell James Myers.
Alexa Claire Dansizen.
Noreen Moyadeen.
Beckett William Walkup.
Noah Manuel Nadine Salem.
Thomas James Zander.
Leah Afton Haggerty.
Ryan Kaler Christie.
Dylan Lee Valerius.
Justin Huynh Lay.
Omar Musa Abdel Kalik.
Jesse Eiley Wong.
Louis Benjamin Abernathy.
Malak Mahmoud El Hayek.
Jackson Joseph Augustiniak.
Rina El Haj.
Yazen Wahab Al-Kaisi.
Huthifa Fawaz El Kawalad.
Victor M. Alvarez.
Amal Alajrab.
Nuha Asem Elzinka.
Leanne Nael Bahur.
Jack Stephen Anning.
Osama Nael Bahur.
Natalie Joe Arvanitis.
Logan Gabriel Maximus Barber.
Cameron Lucas Ashley.
Grace Angelica Barneswell.
Lamonte Blake.
Emma Louise Barraclough.
Dax James Boggs.
Mia Lily Bays.
Quinn Nicholas Bolig.
Andres More Beans.
Tatiana Tamisha Bragg.
Riley Aiden Bell.
Zachary Thomas Brock.
Wyatt Joseph Christ.
Reese Ann Brennan.
Ethan Cole Benoit.
Marley Ann Broski.
Miriam Rita Bensalim.
Elvira Brown.
Gwyneth Ann Binkowski.
Maya Marie Calhoun.
Sarah Elizabeth Cannon.
Liliana Mallory Davis.
Tovi Kyle Napalia Capeliton.
Sienna Marie Dado.
Layla Cecile Carl.
Derek Douglas Del Rue.
Peyton Spencer Carlton.
Madeline Elizabeth Dennis.
Alana Rose Shagola.
Tess Olivia DePriest.
Ella James Childers.
Lillian Ray Dixon.
Colin Henry Cromley.
Lainey Kathleen Dobeck.
Zachary Brandon Emmanuel Craig Jr.
Mohammed Yasser El-Kachem.
Anki Kaylee Chu.
Ethan James Elliott.
Damian Cornell David Clay.
Nathaniel Irupe.
Isabella Rose Waller.
Layla Abraham Ederher.
Marianne Marcus Coleman.
Frederick Mays Fair.
Tegan Elise Coleman.
Michaela Gail Fairbanks.
Will Randall Collier.
Madison Renee Ferrer.
Evan William Combs.
Lacey K. Files.
Nikali Lene Copeland.
Isaiah Thomas Flagg.
Angelica Marie Frontine Cheney.
Savannah Anise Marie Green Draper.
Benjamin Lee Edwards.
Cassie Marie Gratzinger.
Hala El Itawi.
Matthew Adam Hartman Jr.
Kane Michael Dunaway.
Sydney Hathcock.
Lillian Nicole Duran.
Lauren Nicole Hayes.
Ayan Durrani.
Rue Hayes.
Blake Elizabeth Dykes.
Alex Avery Heenan.
Ernest Eugene Easley IV.
Maxwell Sawyer Helfman.
Jonathan Starin Easley Jr.
Emma Jo Irons.
Addison Alicia Edwards.
Isabella Marie Irwin.
Yahashua Jesus Lemons.
Yara Hyder Ismail.
Nathaniel Yosun Grauman.
Kaylee Ariana Jackson.
Alexa Morgan Green.
Sinai Kyrie Jackson.
Jakaya Noel Green.
Agata Sophie Jamrosi.
Caden George Patrick Gardner.
Michelle Mohammed Bera.
Jace Christopher Garrow.
Rajiv Singh.
Marley Amor Gaston.
Ibrahim Hassan Atawi.
Alexander Clark Jensen.
Haider Hassan Atawi.
Emmanuel August Gomez.
Joanna Seyong Kim.
Christiana Faith Gonzalez.
Clover Louise Knight.
Lilas Judawi.
Mariah Jade Kester.
Hamdi Mohammed Ibrahim.
Julia Antonova Kolev.
Miles Edward Huss.
Zachary Lee Copert.
Blake James Heron.
Logan Christopher Korzak.
Shelby Danielle Hirsch.
Ben Michael Kotnick.
Coral Sky Hodgson.
Alexander Drew Craw.
Brady Lars Holman.
Chase Michael Craw.
Alexander Kenneth Hostetler.
Nathan James LaPlace.
Jacob Xavier Huss.
Adam Michael LaPlace.
Ryder Alan Cooper Johnson.
Jack Benjamin Lewis.
Landon Christopher Jones.
Noah Allen Link.
Liliana Sophia Joseph.
Caden James Linzer.
Kendall Joe Karcher.
Alondra Lopez.
Caden Benjamin Cash.
Kaylin Marie Loud.
Rachel Lynn Catafias.
Claire Eva Lowenstein.
Cameron Jane Keblish.
Hannah Marie Marinsky.
Jayla Madison Kemp.
Maurice Joseph MacArthur.
Jordan Maya Kemp.
Johnny Michael McCarrick.
Olivia Marie Keenley.
Braden Maurice Miller.
Taylor Ann Kwiatkowski.
Michael David Miller.
Delilah Lenore Lajness.
Cameron Rose Mitchell.
Connor William Langendorfer.
Dominic Robert Moore.
Isabella Jane Lanham.
Ash Julian Molitor.
Paxton Michael Lanham.
Kali Deshawn Moore.
Noah Sean Kim Lee.
Raylan Elizabeth Morgan.
Kayla Jean Lewis.
Caleb Jamal Mubarak.
Truth Romel McCadney.
Tyler Thomas Porter.
Aiden Gabriel McClintock.
Marley Grace Poupard.
Jonathan Michael McCormick.
Tyler Ray Ratchko.
Frederick Lamar McCoy Jr.
Theo Radkoff.
Elizabeth Ann McGowan.
Maida Ramaswamy.
Yolanda Denise McClendon.
Tawny Mackay Ram.
Isha Mehta.
Addison Marie Ray.
Haya Murhi.
Alec Mark Ray.
Basil Hussein Musa.
Rishi Reddy.
Jeremiah Stephen Murchison.
Mikhail Savante Redmond.
Faiz Mustafa Nahas.
Isabella Ray Schmidt.
London Marie Onitsite.
Hudson James Shoup.
Eva Genevieve Oliver.
Lucia Maria Serna.
Caden Andrew Orton.
Michael Douglas Shanks.
Leslie Elizabeth Pawlowski.
Henry Shao.
Emma Grace Payne.
Aiden Michael Shepard.
Joanna K. Payton.
Jacob Matthew Shiflett.
Corey Dion Madalena Pope Barnes.
Michaela May Singer.
Fiona Blue Rakoff.
Michael James Lee Steele.
Trent Martin Riggs.
Olivia Jules Stroud.
Adam Daniel Roberts.
Natalie Jane Sullier.
Lane Michael Robinson.
Sydney Susan Sutton.
Ethan Marcus Rosick.
Camden Scott Tackett.
Alyssa Gabrielle Savage.
Chelsea Lynn Taylor.
Fayez Hadwan Sayouf.
Hannah Thuita Theory.
McKenna Olivia Sinke.
Spencer James Tomaszewski.
Audrey Elizabeth Skernecki.
Derek Bat Tram.
Ali Slyman Smiley.
Kaylin Nung Tran.
Andrew Cole Smith.
Vance Allen Wise.
Caleb Isaac Smith.
Ava Kathleen Willis.
Gavin Matthew Smith.
Jerron Daniel Witcher.
John Edward Smolensky III.
Chloe Marie Ann Whitcamp.
Gabriella Faith Soley.
Skylar Pache Wright.
Morgan Avery Seal.
Samuel Norman Wagey Worcester.
Ava Jean Stamper.
Jad Yassin.
Ruby Kate Urick.
Ava Marie Zelensky.
Aviana Marisol Valdez.
Catherine Zhang.
Alex Van Zyl.
Lola Maxine Zunin.
Estrella Lynn Vargas. Zoe Rennie Jane Venable. Chase Asher Vollmer. Adam Thomas Wampler. Alexander Joseph Yaki. Lily Anna Young. Peyton Nicole Zenz.
Let them hear it. All right, we're almost there. One final segment to do some highlighting, and I ask everyone to hold their applause because we don't want anyone to miss their accomplishment or recognition or their moment in the sun. We practice this, seniors. In a few minutes, you're all going to be alumni of Southview and part of the proud tradition of 50 years. But these are our senior stand-ups. Please stand when you hear your group affiliation, or raise your hand after that if you're already standing, if you accomplished that as well. Received a Youth Jefferson Award for service. Earned a Global Studies Diploma. Earned an AP Capstone Diploma. Received NLL Player of the Year honors. Attended the Hobie Leadership Camp. Attended Buckeye Boys or Girls State, All-Ohio in athletics, Eagle Scout rank or Girl Scout Gold Award, honored by the VFW for the Americanism test, not just qualified for, but placed at the district wrestling meet. That's the first time in 15 years. That one's for you, Alex G. Competed in a national career tech competition. We'll do our certification recipients together. We're proud of these students because they are licensed to start working tomorrow. How about cosmetology license, patient care technician or STNA, state tested nurse's aide? How about NCCER, that's National Center for Construction Education, electrician level 1. OSHA 10, OSHA 30. All right. ServSafe manager or ServSafe food handler. Educator Rising certification, retail industry credential through Rise Up. Stand up if you are all Ohio or all region for orchestra, band, or choir. Youth Leadership Toledo, if you are in our Leader Academy. Science Olympiad team that went to states. A member of Secret Spirit Society, we all know you now. Travel to a foreign country with any Southview group or plan to travel abroad this summer. Okay, we're awarded the seal of biliteracy, hands up, but we were missing some names at senior assembly that we skipped them 2 weeks ago. These are all qualifications in Spanish, so I want to say their names right now because they got left out. You can raise your hand. Jack Anning, Colin Cromley, Rachel Catafias, Jonathan McCormick, Braden Miller, and Alex Yaki. I'm sorry we missed you at the senior assembly. Advanced to states as part of the Just Right creative writing team. How about conducted AP research for the research program? Qualified for states as part of your career tech organization. Won a state championship with Cougarettes or qualified for nationals with Cougarettes. Signed a national letter of intent to participate in college athletics. Received a Cougar Pride Award. Oh, part of SVA, the Sylvania Virtual Academy. This is a tough one. I want to see the hands. Held down a part-time job while completing your graduation requirements because we know how hard that one is. Look at that. Participated in the production of The Catalyst or the yearbook. had artwork displayed in the Sylvania Art Show, or let's throw in Focus Art Show, Superintendent's Art Show, or the Sylvania Arts Commission. Let me see the artists' hands one more time. All right, we had some sectional championships while you were at Southview. Stand up or raise your hand if you were part of these teams: girls soccer, boys soccer, volleyball, girls basketball, boys basketball, and baseball. They all won, what did I just say, sectionals. District champions, we got boys soccer and newly crowned baseball team. Nice. Yeah, a round of applause for that. All right, we got NLL champions. Here's the teams: girls cross country, girls soccer, boys golf, football, and boys track. All won NLL championships while you were here. Girls golf won 2 of them, back-to-back NLL champions. Where's girls golf? And 3 of them, back-to-back NLL champions. That's the basketball team, boys basketball, and boys tennis. Nice. What if you were a member of the student athlete leadership team? We called you SALT. Where are those guys and girls? How about athlete of the week, musician of the week, career tech student of the week? We're part of the cast, set, or tech crews from one of our plays or musicals. AP Scholar, Core Committed, first or second team All NLL or All NHC, Speech and Debate, which qualified to states, Quiz Bowl, Mock Trial, chess teams, where are they at? Recognized by Sylvania Rotary Club. Nice. Participated in Project Unify or Sylvania Cares. Earned a superior rating as a singer, musician in the choir, orchestra, or band. They're getting really good. We're parts of the esports team. Member of the band. Member of the orchestra. Oh, there's more of you than that. You're wearing out. Member of the choir. Member of the flag corps or majorettes. Senator or part of class government. Competed on any athletic team. All my link leaders. Teen pep leaders. Completed our work study program. Our job training program. How about the career tech student organizations? We've got HOSA, FCCLA, BPA, Skills USA, or FFA. How about the clubs? I picked a few. Cleanup 419, African American Club, Current Events Club, Jewish Culture Club, Investment Club. We got a new one called Crafts for a Cause. What about any of the other 30 clubs? Raise your hand if you were in a club while you were at Southview. A member of Interact. Served as a peer tutor. Teacher's aide, office aide, or lab aide. Robotics team. Bowling team. Water polo and broom ball. Participated in Dance for a Chance. Principals advisory meetings. Thank you. Join a branch of the armed services after graduation. Where are you one more time? Lots of hands up, or maybe we'll get some new people standing. If you earned part of, we always like to hear this number. This year it's $6,277,328 of scholarships were offered to this class. Let's see the millionaires. Future millionaires. All right. Please stand if you volunteered your time, probably via NHS, Interact, Leader Academy, or a personal passion project. This class recorded over 19,000 volunteer hours. Give yourself a round of applause for that. Who are my volunteers? Nice. And let's get everyone standing and lots of hands up. You attended the high school that's been named BCSN Student Section of this season and Best High School in Toledo 7 years in a row. It's a pretty special class. Get up. You better all be standing. If not, please rise. Students, at this time, please, can you hear me? At this time, please move your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left, signifying you are now a graduate of Southview High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Southview class of 2026. Give them a round of applause. You guys accomplished a lot. Well done. Quick reminder, this is super short. We have a cap toss at the back. We are going to recess in the lobby and out onto Jefferson, which I believe is closed down. The weather looks awesome for pictures. Friends and family and guests, you can stay for the cap toss if you want to. Mrs. Fitzpatrick, we are with you.